From the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's favorite gun-toting, Bible-clanging, deplorable American.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes Radio Show. We have got a lot going on today, and we're going to be talking to a great guest a little bit later in the program, Steve Baker, who's an investigative journalist over at The Blaze, and he's been all over the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And folks, this is far from over, and we've got a big problem on our hands within the Trump administration. I want to explain all of this to you because I got some messages last night. Starnes, why are you being so rough on Trump? Well, I'm not being rough on Trump at all. As a matter of fact, I hope by the end of today's show, you will understand exactly where I am coming from on this criticism that I'm about to levy on the on Trump world, because it really doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump other than the fact that he is the president of the United States. And yes, the buck does stop with him. But you need to understand some things, first of all, about the inner workings of the White House and what's going on. The president of the United States is not involved in the nuance of every single thing that's happening in his administration. It's impossible. No president is. No president ever has been. There's just too much going on. So when you look at who is running the White House, that would be the chief of staff, Susie Wiles. And then from there, you've got all of the agencies and all the other staff. We're talking about thousands and thousands of people. I think 3,000 people work just in the West Wing. So you've got a lot of people that are working for the president and doing things. And you go through the vetting process and you try to do a good job. And at the end of the day, you really do hope that you've hired the best people or nominated the best people to run these various agencies. This was a big problem in the first Trump term. We had a lot of bad actors. We had a lot of people who were not MAGA people working in the White House at the time, and it created big problems for the president and really for the advancement of his agenda. So all that to say, I was hoping that all of this was getting worked out as we moved into the second Trump term. But I'm afraid it hasn't. And the president is going to have to he's going to have to really roll up his sleeves, and he's going to have to dig into all of this, if he even has the interest in doing so. But I'm telling you right now, folks, that the Republicans have turned down a very dangerous road, and we're not going to have a lot of time between now and the midterm elections to course correct. So we're getting off course. We're getting off track. And that really is the point of today's show, is to get us back on track. Now, I will say this, that the Republicans, they do a great job on theatrics. Really just an incredible job. And I'll give you some examples. So we've had some of the most incredible hearings over the past however many years now that the Republicans have been in charge of Congress. We've had some incredible hearings. All sorts of heinous accusations have been levied. All sorts of damning evidence has been presented. And we have had so many lawmakers on this radio program talking about the shoes dropping, people are going to jail, all roads lead back to Barack Obama. I mean, how many times have we gone down that path? And I mean, every single time we give a platform to these Republicans and they lay out their evidence. But ladies and gentlemen, the reality is, up until just a few moments ago, no one's been arrested. No one's been charged. Nobody from the Obama administration's been arrested or charged. Nobody from the Biden administration's been arrested or charged. Nobody at all. We have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars, our tax dollars, by the way, millions of dollars have been spent trying to get to the bottom of all of these scandals, all of these efforts, these attempts to crack down on those who tried to destroy Donald Trump and sabotage his campaign, and nothing has come of it. I want to give you an example of this, and again, there's just a lot to go over, and this means I am trying to protect Donald Trump here. That's what's going on, because there are people within his circle that do not have his interest at heart here. Now, and I'm going to get to the Epstein stuff in just a moment, but that's another part of it. And again, we haven't had any results from any of the hearings. Nothing's ever gotten accomplished. But what do they tell us? Well, you've got to give us the majority, and then we'll get to the bottom of it. So we give them the majority in the House. Well, we got to have the majority in the Senate. All right, we gave them that. Well, we got to have the White House. Well, okay, we've got all three. So what are we doing here? Let's talk about Doge. Everybody talks about how successful Doge was, right? Again, it is the theatrics. Last night I went in and started doing a deep dive. What was it that Elon promised us? What, $2 trillion in cuts and spending cuts? Folks, we're not even at $200 billion in cuts, and really nothing has been cut. Nothing has been cut yet. So we have the theatrics of it all, and well, this is what we've got to do, but it hasn't been done. Remember what they said? We're going to shut down the Department of Education. They haven't even started the process of shutting it down at all. Department of Education is still up and running. They said they were going to shut down the Hoover Building and move the FBI out of Washington, D.C. What do? Instead, they moved to a much larger, more opulent building, the Ronald Reagan Building in Washington, D.C., just right down the street. You can't make this up. Then there's this NBC News report that came out, and this is really what caused me to say, you know what, we just need to have a little reset here. We need to have a little conversation, and I'll explain what we need to do after this conversation. But the NBC News came out with a report, and they said that it turns out that Donald Trump, under his administration, more people have been arrested, more illegals have been arrested just in the month of June than the last 5 years combined. And that is a huge thing, right? We would want to celebrate that, right? But then the other shoe drops. It turns out that while, yes, the ICE agents are arresting record numbers of illegals, deportations are not happening. As a matter of fact, according to the NBC News numbers, deportations are at an all-time low. They're even lagging at this point behind the numbers that were deported during the Obama administration. So the question is, what happened to, we are going to be deporting on day one millions and millions of illegals. And we're not anywhere near the millions, right? We're in the thousands. Last month they arrested 30,000, which is huge. But we're only deporting not even half of that number, which is not good. And then you've got the whole Epstein thing, which is weird because, again, and we'll play some audio, and I've got a lot of audio, and we're going to play some of this, so we've got the evidence to back up what I'm saying here. You've got all these people in the administration saying, hey, look, there is a list, and we've got to hold these people accountable. They're very powerful people on the list. And now all of us, and they go, we know that Epstein was killed to keep him quiet. And now they're saying, well, that wasn't true. Epstein, he killed himself. And we also found out that there really is not even a list. And they want you to believe that. And I don't even think they believe that. And I think they even know that we don't believe what they're trying to tell us right now. That's what I truly think. And then comes this bombshell. This is insane. So they brought Biden's doctor, the White House physician, up on Capitol Hill yesterday. And I'm not surprised, but the physician said that he refused to testify. Now, James Comer, who's head of the House Oversight Committee, could force him. He could have forced the doctor, right? He can play that card. But here's the problem. He's not willing to do it at all. And that's concerning to me. I want you to hear James Comer talking to Jesse Waters last night. Cut number 16, please.
All right, so Congressman, they're going to say doctor-patient relationship. is sacred. They're going to say executive privilege. What do you say to that?
Well, there was nothing asked in the beginning that would pertain to doctor-patient relationship. This was a question, were you ever told to falsify medical documents for the President of the United States? And he pled the fifth. And then we asked the question, did you ever doubt his mental capacity to fulfill the duties of the presidency? And again, he pled the fifth. The only thing he answered was his name. The lawyers made clear he wasn't going to answer any questions, and he knew what we were going to ask him. All the questions you mentioned in the monologue, those were questions we prepared to ask. The witness, Dr. O'Connor, clearly wasn't going to answer any questions. You plead the fifth usually when you have criminal liability. Everyone in America knows that Joe Biden was deteriorating rapidly during that last year in the White House. And our investigation centers around the illegal use of the auto pen that was used to sign executive orders and pardons. The auto pen was used, we now know, on days when Joe Biden was in the White House. He couldn't even get him to sign his name. So it begs the question, did he even know what his name was being signed on? And that's the purpose of the investigation. So the doctor's not going to be cooperative. We hope that the next 9 people that we have identified and dates set to bring in will be more forthcoming, like Neera Tanden was. We're going to bring in that inner circle. And one thing, Jesse, that's very clear thus far in this investigation, there were very, very few people in the White House who were allowed to be around Joe Biden.
So let me ask you what the next step is, Mr. Comer. Are you able to subpoena the medical reports, his notes? If he refuses to testify, I mean, can you bring him in again? I mean, what is the next step?
Well, the next step is we're going to bring in the inner circle. Again, this is an investigation.
Right, but with O'Connor specifically, because they drag this out. You know how they drag it out. I mean, is he just going to disappear?
Well, we're going to try to get every bit of information we have. What we're finding in the Biden administration is they didn't leave very many records behind when they walked out that door. There are so many instances of documents that we've been waiting.
This guy, Comer, we've had him on this show so many times before, and he never does deliver, this guy. And that's what you just heard him basically admit to Waters. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Comer has the ability to subpoena that doctor, and if the doctor refuses to comply, throw him in jail. And we know you can do that because the Democrats did that with Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. They refused to testify before they refused to testify. They refused to honor a subpoena, and they were thrown in jail for 4 months. And that's what the Republicans ought to do, but they're not doing it, ladies and gentlemen. They're not doing it. So my question is this: Are you satisfied with where we are so far, ladies and gentlemen? Are you concerned about where things are going with the Trump administration? There are things happening on multiple levels that just raise my concerns, because if we don't get this turned around quickly, you are going to disappoint the base, and the base is not going to be likely to come out and vote. They will not be energized in the midterm elections because we've given them nothing to energize them with. And hear me on this. One of the arguments that we heard, about 6 months ago, and I brought this up on the show, one of the arguments coming from the Republicans was, well, we're going to campaign on this idea that we need 2 more years to get all of this done. That's a load of hooey, ladies and gentlemen. They have the time. If they just stop going on vacation and stay in Washington, D.C., and get the work done, then we would have something to celebrate. But at the end of the day, I am very concerned we show up at the midterms and we've got nothing to show for it except raising the debt ceiling and spending $4 trillion more dollars. Because, again, we haven't cut diddly squat right now. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
Making radio great again. The Todd Starnes Radio Show.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
Hey folks, Todd Stearns here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer, trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Stearns sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big.
Everyone's goals for advancing their education look different. At Liberty University, we've helped thousands of students like you earn their dream degree. So no matter what your goal is, we can help you get there. With over 450 degrees from the associate to the doctoral level to choose from, most of which are 100% online, you'll find what you need to succeed. To discover which degree might be the best fit for you, text degree to 49595. That's degree to 49595.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. No, I'm already getting messages from people. I knew it. I knew you were woke. No, I'm not woke. You're anti-Trump. You're a DeSantis guy. No, I'm a huge Trump supporter. I've voted for Donald Trump. I've interviewed him for books. He's endorsed my books. I know. Look, here's the thing. I'm one of these people that is willing to say, hey, Mr. President, we got a problem here. As opposed to all of these yes men, and I'm afraid there are a few too many yes men working in the White House right now. And they're afraid to tell the president what he really needs to hear. And I will say this about Donald J. Trump. I believe that more than anything else, this man believes in loyalty, and he respects and understands loyalty. Well, you know what loyalty is? Loyalty is telling someone that they're heading down a bad path, and they might want to take another look at things. But somebody out there is telling the president, and by the way, this is where this whole amnesty garbage came up. Somebody told the president, Mr. President, we really think you need to reconsider this because you need to appear to be more compassionate, Mr. President, and we don't want to be deporting all these people. So you need to show a little bit of compassion, and you also need to take care of all of your big dollar donors who use these illegals for cheap labor. They probably didn't put it quite like that, but that's exactly how it's going down. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. Memphis, Tennessee. Johnny, listening to us on KWAM. All right, Johnny, what's on your mind?
Todd, I've called you for years, and I never agree with you, but this time I agree with you on the topic of today. The Republicans, they need to quit focusing on Donald Trump and get some work done. And what have you done? Have you drank some truth serum today?
No, I've had a delicious cup of coffee this morning, Johnny. But look, and Johnny, you should know this. I don't work off anybody's talking points. And by the way, we are getting people are saying, well, we need to stop talking about Epstein. We need to stop talking about how many illegals. No, I don't play that game. I don't play that game.
Well, Todd, I have to say, and I have always called and disagree with what you have said, but if I can disagree with you, if I can call in and disagree with you, when you are on top and on topic, I can call and agree with you. But, I think the main focus is on Donald Trump. And just like you said, there's a bunch of yes men around there. And if they can, focus more on doing people's business, instead of focusing on Donald Trump, I think they can get a lot more done. What do you say?
Well, Johnny, I'll answer that question, and we're going to break here, Johnny, so we're going to have to leave it there. But I guess I appreciate the call. Thank you. Rarely do Johnny and I agree. But, again, I want our president to be incredibly successful, and I want him to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents of all time, and I think he will. We've just got to make sure that these yes men are removed from the White House. The president needs somebody that's going to be just honest with him. 901-260-5926, our number. We'll be right back, America. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Stearns. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code STARNES and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older-adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dr. Christina Probst, you might remember her. She is the Houston pediatrician, got fired after posting an anti-human rant. You know, they're calling it an anti-MAGA rant. It was anti-humanity. She was, and we have the story up at toddstearns.com, but this Houston pediatrician, Dr. Probst, said that she was hoping that Trump supporters would get what they voted for as they drowned in the floodwaters. It was pretty awful. Here's exactly what she wrote. Kerr County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for. May all visitors, children, and non-MAGA voters and pets be safe and dry. So I guess if you have a little puppy wearing a MAGA scarf or kerchief, that she's okay with even the puppies. She's kind of like a female Dr. Fauci, killing the beagles. So anyway, she worked at a place called Bluefish Pediatrics there in the Houston area, and she was fired. I will say this about Bluefish Pediatrics. Man, they jumped all over this. I mean, as soon as they found out, boom, she was suspended. As soon as they verified that she wrote what she wrote, boom, she was fired. So anyway, Probst is, it's bad. She is, I mean, it is bad. I think even the liberals deep down know that she went way over the line here. But this woman, she needs some help. Anyway, she's asking for you guys to forgive her. And I'm wondering, do you forgive? Do you forgive this woman for what she said? She's begging you. She says she's deeply sorry. I want to read this to you because she can't. I mean, it's really bad. She tried to go online, and she was just crucified. And here's what she wrote. I understand my comment caused immense pain to those suffering indescribable grief, and for that I am truly sorry. Lady, you celebrated the deaths of the kids of Trump supporters. Are you insane? She said, she went on to write this. I take full responsibility for a social media comment I made before we knew that so many precious lives were lost to the terrible tragedy in Central Texas. The comment was mine and mine alone. Even in these divisive times, some things are and should remain sacred. Okay, well, let's just break this down for a second here. So is she suggesting that if maybe just adults had died, then it would have been okay? Her remarks would have been fine because we knew right away that a lot of people had died. And she talks about these divisive times. Yes, it's because of people like you, doctor. People like you, ma'am. She continues, human life is sacred. The well-being of children is sacred. Politics and party affiliation should never affect the judgment or actions of any medical provider and have never affected mine. Really? Because I don't know about that. I don't know about that. One of the things I do, and I know this is terrible, but it's true, I do this. When I'm looking for a new doctor, I check out their party affiliations. I'm a little concerned, honestly. You've got these left-wing doctors out there. I don't trust them. I do not trust them. And would you trust this one? Let me ask you a question. Parents, grandparents, would you trust this woman to take care of your child? Somebody sent me another. Yeah, my doctor's, he's like a radical. He's got the coexist bumper sticker on the car. Drives one of the little metrosexual cars you got to plug in. And this person is like a huge MAGA person, but he said whenever he goes to the doctor, he wants to always, name drop Obama or Kamala Harris just to make sure the shot doesn't hurt. Because they make it hurt. You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, this doctor is saying that she has, and here's what gets me is, why would you feel the need to say that? Why would you feel the need to say that you've never mistreated your MAGA patients? Dr. Probst goes on, geez, Lou, ma'am, this is a long apology. Perhaps my biggest regret is that my words are now serving as a distraction from our shared responsibility. What? Her words caused the distraction. To heal the pain and suffering of those whose lives have been forever changed by unspeakable loss, and to take every step to ensure such a disaster never occurs again. Probst continues, geez, Lou, lady, the heart of every Texan breaks for each and every family shattered by this tragedy. She said she was praying those suffering find peace and comfort in the difficult days ahead. Who does she pray to? Could it be Satan? Just asking. Oh, Lord, she's still not finished. Give it a rest, lady. Moving forward, I will do my very best to listen, learn, grow, and serve my community as I have always done. If ever there was a need for a crisis management client, that's the lady right there. So I'm wondering, ladies and gentlemen, does it sound like that she has understood the error of her ways? Do you believe that she is experiencing true remorse? Do you, ladies and gentlemen? Does this woman deserve to be forgiven for the disgusting things that she said? 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. And then you have a couple of black folks out there. One of them also from Houston. I don't know what's going on. The libs in Houston got triggered by all this. And they're out there saying that, the only reason people are concerned is because a bunch of white people drowned. It's just terrible stuff. And then we've got a story, and we're going to have this up on our website here momentarily. Adam Zeigler, he is the staff cartoonist for the Buffalo News. He is also a heartless monster. So Zeigler published a cartoon in the news that mocks the drowning of a Trump supporter in the Texas Hill Country. I know I am not making this up. The image, and you'll be able to see it over at ToddStarnes.com, and it is just disgusting. And this was published in the cartoon, so it's not just the cartoonist, it's the editors who signed off on this. And it shows a man wearing a red MAGA hat being swept away by the floodwaters, holding a help sign. And just before the guy drowns, he's hollering out, "Government is the problem, not the solution." And the newspaper's defending this. They're saying, well, the whole point of being a cartoonist a political cartoonist is to be outrageous and provocative. Well, mission accomplished there. Got half the country wanting to march on this newspaper office. The Erie County Republican Committee Chairman, Michael Cracker, oh dear, I wonder if he's white. That would be ironic. Michael Cracker said this. I have no idea why I find that humorous. The Buffalo News ran a cartoon mocking Texas families who lost loved ones in a tragedy just because they might have voted Republican. Twisted, vile, and shameful. They owe those families an apology and should pull this filth immediately. I hate to break it to Mr. Cracker, but hear me on this for just a moment. That doctor, she's really not sorry. That cartoonist, he's really not sorry. Those angry black women, they're really not sorry. They really believe what they said, or they wouldn't have said it. But they believe that because in their hearts they've been taught since before 2015 that anyone who supports Donald Trump is less than, that we are subhuman. And you say, Tom, what are you talking about? What is going on with you today? No, hear me on this. This is why when Barack Obama was out in San Francisco in 2007 and he was talking about all you people in the Rust Belt, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, what did he say about you people? He said that you cling to your guns and religion. You're bitter Americans. What was it Hillary said? That you're irredeemable. You are beyond redemption. You're a basket of deplorables. What is it Joe Biden said at the Human Rights Campaign event? That you people are you people who believe in the values that President Trump shares. You are the dregs of humanity. That sort of language dehumanizes. And so, therefore, I don't buy any of these apologies at all. I think we get to see these people for who they truly are. And that's why, at this very hour, you have Democrats literally calling for blood in the streets, calling for people to go out there and to get shot or take one for the party as they're attacking ICE agents and Border Patrol agents. It's a very dark thing that's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why you literally have people on social media, and I'm not even going to play. I've seen the audio. We're not going to play the audio. But I have literally seen people celebrating the deaths and mocking the deaths of those children because they believe those children, their parents, are somehow Republicans or Trump supporters. That's the kind of evil. And ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. I have never seen that sort of hate in the Republican world. You may have some isolated things. Those people are anomalies because conservatives, we cherish life. We value life. And if you call yourself a conservative and you're saying something like that, you're not a conservative. You're a Democrat. And you're a creep and you've got problems. So I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not willing to forgive this woman because I don't believe her. I don't believe this cartoonist. I don't think he's sorry for what he did. I don't think any of them are sorry. 901-260-5926. That is our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. By the way, folks, we've been talking a lot about what's happening overseas. Yesterday, another barrage of missiles hitting Israel. So this global unrest it's starting to pick up a little bit. And that's why you need to be very concerned about what's happening on Wall Street. Things look good now, but you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, which is why you need to consider diversifying your retirement plan and your savings plan. And this is one of the reasons I turned to Vault U.S. Gold. They are the premier experts in protecting retirement savings with gold and silver IRAs. They have a top-rated team, and they make doing all of this so fast and so easy. And more importantly, it gives you a shield against economic chaos. Vault U.S. Gold. Give them a call, 833-511-4653. That's 833-511-4653. Visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Stearns. That's vaultusgold.com/Todd Stearns. And when you do, they're going to hook you up with a free gold guide.
This is the Todd Stearns Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll try this Balance of Nature. But I thought, all right, I'll do it for 1 month, and then I can cancel. And so I ordered it for 1 month. I have told so many people about this stuff. They think I'm crazy. So for me to say I would continue to do it means it's got to be good.
Primetime savings end Friday. Don't miss out. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 40% off your first preferred set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Don't miss the chance for primetime savings. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code Todd.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, folks, and don't forget, head over to ToddStarnes.com. You'll be able to see the cartoon I'm talking about. Take a look at it, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you saw and your reaction. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. Let's go to the phone lines. Lexington, Tennessee. Rodney is on the line. Hi, Rodney. What's going on?
Hello, Todd. I just want to say I enjoy your show. I'm on my lunch break, so I won't be able to stay long. But I want to comment on the illegal immigrants going to get to stay in the country. First of all, we as conservatives should stop using the term cheap labor. It's not cheap labor. It's illegal labor. And that's what we should call it. It's illegal labor. It's no different than if you hired someone that was evading arrest or evading a warrant. They're illegal. You're evading and abetting. And number two, during the Obama administration, President Obama bailed out GM. And at the time, the Republicans had hissy fits because they said it was not up to a United States president or the government to bail out a business. A business should not be too big to fail. So therefore, if the farmers, the hotel industry, or whatever can't afford to pay a decent wage and get workers, they should either downsize or go out of business.
You know, that's the way it would happen for anybody else, Rodney, right?
Exactly.
I remember that. And again, this whole, too big to fail. And George W. just bought into that hook, line, and sinker, didn't he?
Yes. Well, I thought it was Obama. I thought Obama's one that bailed them out.
Obama did, but also George W. did back when the housing market went belly up, and you had all the Wall Street companies going belly up, and that happened right towards the election. If you remember, it was John McCain, and I may be talking slightly out the wazoo here, Rodney, but John McCain actually suspended his campaign for the presidency so they could all go to Washington and resolve the financial crisis.
Right. I believe you're right. But that's my view. That's my personal view. If you're going to say that one business should have special agreements to keep in business, then all businesses should get it, not pick and choose. But I appreciate your time, and I enjoy your show.
Well, Ronnie, I appreciate it. What are you doing for lunch, my friend? I hope you're getting a good meal somewhere.
Yes, sir. I'm eating a poor man's steak.
A poor man? What is a poor man's steak?
A bologna sandwich.
Hey, that is some good eating, Rodney. But you got to get
I agree.
You got to get that thick slab bologna, though.
Oh, yeah, and now I've got a garden tomato on it. I got a slice of good garden tomato on it.
Man, you're eating like a king today, Rodney. That's good eating right there, my friend.
I'm not going to get a whole lot out of me after this.
No, I don't. I can imagine. Rodney, God bless, and enjoy your lunch hour. It is true. If you're going to eat a bologna sandwich, you got to get the big thick slab, and you can't be going down to Kroger and getting the Oscar Mayer. You got to go down to a local gas station where they have the deli, and that's how you do it. And you got to make sure you get, Oh, boy. We're not going to start the mayo war again, but you got to get your favorite mayo. Mine happens to be Hellman's, but you folks in the Carolinas, I know you're Duke people, and got to get a good slather of that on white bread only, Sunbeam preferably, and like Rodney said, it is tomato eating season, so you got to get yourself a good old juicy Mississippi red tomato. Dylan, that's good eating where we're from. What are you shaking your head for?
I can't get behind bologna for some reason.
How do you not get behind? First of all, your family. How do you? Our family is genetic. It's built in.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm the picky eater of the family, as you know, but bologna gives me the same feeling as Spam does. But I know that's probably really offensive.
What's wrong with Spam?
I don't know. I don't understand why it's in a circular block.
Well, that's the way God made it.
I guess.
Or somebody down at the meat packing company. I don't know. I prefer not to know. I prefer not to know how it's made. What about Vienna sausages?
Same thing. It's the same exact feeling. I don't want to eat it.
My dad may have been the only person in America who did this. My dad loved Vienna sausages and saltine crackers. That was his jam.
Scrumptious.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about that. I can't handle the Vienna sausages.
I'll have a PB&J.
Oh, there you go. Nothing wrong with PB&J. All that to say, I hope you're having a good lunch. All right, we've got to take a break here, folks. 901-260-5926, our number. That's 901-260-5926. So stick around, folks. Hour 2 of the big show. Yeah, you got to get the thick slab bologna that's got the red plastic. Then you got to pull that off. You don't want to chew on that. But, man, that's good eating. We'll be right back, everybody.
When you're working to protect and serve your community and country, you need a degree program that fits into your busy schedule. At Liberty University, you'll find just that. With 100% online program options and no set login times, you can advance your skills without sacrificing your commitments. Plus, we offer exclusive tuition rates and discounts to current and former service members, their spouses, and first responders. Learn more by texting DEGREE to 49595. That's DEGREE to 49595.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot prayer, and a Liberty lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
Many college grads are anti-capitalist activists, so if you're a business owner, how do you find new employees who won't destroy your business? Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and that's where Red Balloon comes in. They're America's #1 pro-freedom job board, and they're shaking up the hiring world by focusing on values and mission-aligned talent. Now, there are 2 ways Red Balloon can help. You can post your job on their national job board. Over 20,000 people visit every week. Or you can hire Red Balloon Recruiter for a more customized talent search. Now, the recruiter team is really fantastic. They start by learning your workplace culture and writing a custom job posting, and then they source and screen candidates from their national database. Their team conducts first interviews, and you get alerts when they find highly qualified candidates. And Red Balloon delivers these high-quality results at a fraction of traditional corporate recruiter prices. People are saying Red Balloon is a game changer. So check them out today, redballoon.work. Use the promo code STARNS and save $100 on Recruiter. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So maybe you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're much happier with. Here's the number you need, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
It was Superhero Day at Northwest Elementary School in Amityville, New York. Some students dressed up like Superman, others like Wonder Woman, but a school nurse dressed up like an ICE agent. The school district released a statement saying the letters ICE, I-C-E, were offensive. The teacher's been removed from the classroom, facing a district investigation. Parents are enraged and they want the school nurse fired. It turns out most of the students in the district are minorities. Now, the head of the Teachers Association condemned the nurse's costume, said there's no place for politics in the classroom. An honest-to-goodness Amityville horror story. You know, it's a bit strange seeing how ICE agents are pulling dangerous gangbangers, killers, and drug traffickers off the streets, proving you don't have to wear a cape to be a hero. Be sure to read my new book. It's called Star Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at toddstarns.com.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute. from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Common Sense Conservative Commentary from Todd Starnes.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Todd Starnes radio program. What an honor to have you with us today. A lot going on. Hey, by the way, don't forget, 5 o'clock Eastern tonight, you can watch my show on Newsmax TV. We've got a jam-packed lineup, including live reports from out in Texas, and also the very latest on what's happening in Washington, D.C. I want to play, before we go to our very important and great guest, I want to play some audio. This is coming from Alan Dershowitz, talking about the Epstein list, which we've been now told not only does it not exist, it never existed, and how dare you even talk about it. You have absolutely no right to talk about it anymore. Those talking points coming directly from the White House. Here's Alan Dershowitz.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely on the Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed.
All right.
If the accusation...
So we'll get to more of Dershowitz in just a moment, but I want to bring in our next guest. His name is Steve Baker. You've read his stuff over on The Blaze, investigative journalist, great guy. Steve, good to have you with us today.
Hey, Todd. Thanks for having me.
So, look, I know you've been pretty outspoken about this on your social media platforms. You just heard Alan Dershowitz. Is he off his rocker here, or is Dershowitz onto something?
No, he's not off as a rocker, and we all know that. Look, anybody who has followed this for the years that this has been in development knows that you can't have, as Attorney General Bondi has spoken, you can't have hundreds of victims and then there not also be clients, so to speak, on the other side. Look, Epstein, his relationship in the criminal world as a pimp, a glorified pimp, obviously, maybe the biggest pimp in history. It goes all the way back to, the accusations he had back in the 2000s, early 2000s, for child prostitution. And obviously, if there's child prostitution going on at that time and he is being indicted for that and then ultimately given a plea deal on that and ultimately having the charges, the federal charges dropped. And I've got the document myself where the FBI said, look, as long as Epstein provides us with the information that we need, we've been advised that we will no longer seek prosecution in this matter. This was 2008. I have the document myself. It's a Federal Bureau of Investigation document. And so there's an absolute impossibility for there not to be a list of God knows how many of these clients, those who engaged in business with Epstein in his sex trade.
Steve, I'm just confused by the Justice Department here and the Attorney General. And I think even in her response at the cabinet meeting, and you could tell there was a tremor in her voice. And I don't know, I'm trying to understand how she can reverse course so quickly, just like Kash Patel did and Dan Bongino when it looked like they were being held hostage, in the video, when they said, Epstein killed himself. That's it. End of story.
And there's tons more video than this one that we've seen ad nauseum for the last 3 days of Bondi talking about having the files on her desk, and then, of course, the retractions here in the last couple of days, and we see that video of her telling the world that she had them. But there's more videos of her saying the same thing. This isn't a lone standout video that they can just easily whitewash, wave off, and say, well, there wasn't really talking about specific client files. It was the overall Epstein stack of files on her desk. Look, she herself has said that there are tens of thousands of hours of video related to Epstein's operation. And then now they're trying to say, yeah, but that's all him. So you're telling me there's tens of thousands of files or video, tens of thousands of hours of video of Epstein diddling little girls, and there was nobody else involved, when we know that he had cameras around his properties, the Epstein Island and other properties in Florida. It just absolutely stretches all manner of credulity here for us to accept that, and especially, as you brought up, the long history, long before they became director and deputy director, Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, their own statements. And then we have, look, I work for the Blaze. I was in the building today. Everybody has seen this, where Glenn had Cash Patel in his office. This was almost exactly about a year and a half ago. I was in the Blaze building in Dallas at the time when Cash was sitting there in Glenn's big glass office. They brought the cameras in, and Cash was absolutely adamant that the FBI director at the time had the files on this, and that he had, quote unquote, the black book on this. Absolutely adamant about that. As a matter of fact, when they left his office, I happened to be walking down the hallway, and Glenn brought me over and introduced me to Cash. At that time, we exchanged numbers. And I'm not going to be hesitant to tell you that I have used that phone number as a result of this case and a couple of other things that we've been working on recently at the Blaze.
There have been some people getting calls from the White House saying, you got to stop talking about this. Have you gotten any sort of correspondence? Have you been told to move on?
I tweeted out. Actually, I responded to somebody else's thread. It was one of the actual FBI whistleblowers' threads, in which I hypothetically talked about being contacted by somebody at the FBI on this. And the reality is that I'm not the only one, but yes, it has happened. It is happening. There is a damage control operation taking place right now inside the DOJ and the FBI. They were absolutely, and who knows why they were blindsided by this. I don't know who thought in their PR team thought that they could release this Axios report on a Sunday, except only they had calculated, because of the disaster in Texas with the tremendous loss of life, that would overwhelm the news cycle, as these types of disasters typically do, and that everybody would sweep this thing under the rug and ignore it. Well, you and I both know that's exactly the opposite of what happened.
And the other thing, Steve, and let me jump in here real quick, and the thing that I'm concerned about now with the onset of AI and all this other stuff that's going on the social media platforms was verifying it, because it was unsigned. There was no letter. It was very strange the way that was leaked to Axios.
Yes, very strange. And I can tell you absolutely with 100% confirmation it is real, even though it was unsigned. This was a joint release by the DOJ and the FBI. I can also tell you that sources at the FBI have tried to diminish that and say, no, it's not us, it's not us, it's not Cash, it's not Dan, and that's not true. It's just not true. We know that this was a joint release, and we know that they are doing damage control, and they are making those calls. And I'm not the only one who has received such a call. You and I have been doing this for a long time, and one of the things that really set me off, and I knew this was coming, and sure enough, they announced the big investigation into Brennan and Comey. First of all, I don't remember the FBI. I mean, typically when the FBI does an investigation, they do the investigation. You don't know about it until the indictments are handed down or the investigation's been concluded. So it seems to me they dumped this to get everybody's attention off of the Epstein file. Yeah, they're looking for any distraction that they can get right now from that, because this was a major error on their part. They know it now. And I will tell you, I told an FBI source just 2 nights ago, I said, look, you guys blew it. You guys blew it. In fact, I said this may be the most or the worst PR move I have ever seen from any federal agency or department in my career. I've never seen anything. And I, jokingly, I said, you guys need to bring me on for PR next time, because there's no way you could not have made this miscalculation, because this was such a central piece of not only what was promised to the Republican voter base, MAGA conservatives, however you want to characterize them, but this was absolutely impossible for you to miscalculate if you had done a couple of things right. Number one, not go to frickin' Axios, but go to the Blaze, go to Daily Wire, go to Fox, go to Newsmax, go and find out from your own, friendly media sources, how are your readers and how are your viewership going to handle this when we release this story? They obviously didn't do that, and they're paying the price for it right now. And this Brennan Comey investigation, and that's just not the way these things work, as has been pointed out by many others besides myself, is that investigations are private, indictments are announced. But in this case, they flipped the script and they're announcing the investigation.
Steve Baker is joining us, investigative journalist from The Blaze. And Steve, here's why it's really bothering me, because these are all good people. I mean, Pam and Dan and Cash, I mean, I had them on my show in the past. What is going on?
Oh, man. Look, we are just as confounded as anybody else in this space. We absolutely cheered the nominations of Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. We rallied behind them during their confirmation process. Upon being confirmed, we gave them standing ovation and our best wishes. And then they went into just trust the plan mode. And we don't seem to be getting anything out of them that was promised to us in the days, months leading up to the election, after the election, and in the early days of the new administration. And we're talking about the most important things. And one of those things which they're most concerned about, and another thing that they're taking a huge hit on, is the fact that they have not restored the legitimate whistleblowers. And that is a gigantic black eye for the FBI right now. We're talking about some Boy Scouts out there who did the right thing under horrible circumstances. They kept their oath. They went through the process of whistleblowing correctly, properly, in every way. And yet these guys have been, like, for instance, Garrett O'Boyle has been on suspension now for over 1,000 days, unpaid suspension. And when you're on unpaid suspension, he can't take another job.
It's unacceptable.
It's totally unacceptable. And they've had 6 months. And what I told FBI source just 2 nights ago on the phone was, I said, if you want to do any damage control right now whatsoever, the lowest hanging fruit that you have right there in front of you is to restore these FBI whistleblowers with full back pay and give them a premier job actually investigating these types of issues.
All right, Steve, we're going to have to leave it there. I've got about 30 seconds, and I get this question a lot. Why does it matter? President Trump said, why are we still talking about Epstein? Enough. But why is it important that we know who is on that list?
Well, look, it's important that we know who is on this list. And if I'm giving the president and his administration any grace whatsoever, it's based on this theory. I think that the list is so vast, it's so deep, and it's such a high-profile list of people in the government, both left and right, as well as world leaders, tech leaders, business leaders, that this would be essentially a mutually assured destruction issue if that list was released. And it may just be a calculation from the administration that we can't do this. It will literally bring the government down. And that's a big statement to make, but that's just the way it feels to me. And that's me giving the administration grace here. What's the calculation of not going forward with what we all know exists?
Yeah. And by the way, another big looming story is that NBC piece that came out today that while we've had record-breaking arrest of illegals, we aren't even deporting these people. They're still here. And Trump's numbers are lower than Obama's. I mean, we have got to start we got to start delivering. We can't just rely on the theatrics of all this.
So it seems the Supreme Court is now giving the administration the latitude against the lawfare coming from the lower courts to give them the right to go ahead and move forward with these deportations. So hopefully they will do that.
All right. Steve, man, great reporting, and we love your work, and we'd like to get you back on soon, but hang in there. I think you're fighting the good fight out there.
Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate that.
All right. That's Steve Baker, everybody, an investigative journalist over at The Blaze, giving us a rundown of what has been going on with the Epstein case. We've got to take a quick break. We're going right to our phone lines. We've got Steve in Houston, Jerry in Iowa, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
It's Radio Free America. It's the Todd Starnes Show.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. You know, Calitrin's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calitrin is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calitrin is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT. All right, welcome back. Let's go right to the phones, and we will start in Iowa. Jerry, listening to us on KXEL. Hi, Jerry. What's on your mind?
Hello, brother. Thanks for opportunity to execute free speech. This is so wonderful. So I still trust the Donald. I do. I trust him. I trust Pam, Bondi, Stellar Integrity, Cash, Patel, Dan. They're all great. They've been doing us good. Epstein, he was probably on it. Don't you think he was probably an FBI, CIA asset? I mean, he was probably, I'll bet you they used him to get the goods on all kinds of bad actors all over the world and in the country. And also try to be patient. This is really not the Jerry, I'm not saying your show, but the Epstein thing isn't the Jerry Springer show. It's Biden probably set booby traps all over the place before he got on. The stupid Mueller investigation, that went on for years and years. So I'm just saying, keep trusting the Donald. It takes time to build cases, and timing is everything. There's other fish to fry right now. I mean, I'm just thinking we should wait till after the midterms. This is not over, not by a long shot. The good guys are in the saddle right now. There's lots of stuff going on in the world. I don't think this is going away. So it takes time to build a good case.
Well, Jerry, let me jump in. That music means we're going to have to take a break here, and I'll finish addressing it at the end of the break here or when we come back. But at the end of the day, Trump says, time to move on. There's nothing to see here. So it is over when it comes to the mind of the president. Jerry, appreciate that call. Hang tight, folks.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a 70-year-old man. I'm not a young guy, and I'm an ex-athlete. Well, yeah, when I was taking it, I recognized that I was feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And just mentally knowing is important also.
I am a customer of you guys. I love your product. Love it, love it. Nothing but good things to say about your product. I love it. And as long as y'all don't sell it, I'm going to take it as long as I can.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code TODD.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Mama, what does the chicken say?
Chicken. Oh, okay.
When the wolf?
Oh, a wolf. Ooh!
What about the tiny dog? Cat? Owl? Dolphin? What does the turkey say? Whale?
Yeah, whale sound.
Do the giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Okay. Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Hey, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to the Todd Stearns Radio Show. I'm sorry, I'm slightly distracted by an email I just got, and it involves Fox News Channel. Folks, I need to see if I can talk about what the email, I apologize. I shouldn't have even brought it up. But anyway, Fox is just, what you see is not necessarily what you get when it comes to Fox. I'll just leave it at that. And I will say this, shame on them. Shame on them. I apologize. I shouldn't have even brought it up. But anyway, I got the email just as we were coming back on the show. Luke Simbel is here, our great local Republican strategist in Memphis, Tennessee, just back from vacation.
Oh, it was lovely, Todd.
Was it really nice?
Oh, 75 degrees, high 50s in the evening, sweater weather. I got a little break from the Memphis heat and humidity, but it's good to be back with you in studio.
Any gunfire where you were at?
No gunfire. It was lovely.
No drive-bys?
No drive-bys. I wasn't checking over my shoulder while pumping gas. It was great.
When you came out of the Olive Garden, the car was still there?
You can't even attend an Olive Garden in Memphis now. I mean, you got to get a certain type of restaurant to be safe.
It's really bad out there. Well, I'm glad you had a good vacation. You know, we've been following this crazy story out of Texas with the horrible floods, and it's just beyond me the vitriol coming out of the left. But again, I think really they've been conditioned to hate Republicans, and the fact you've got this pediatrician in Houston that's, mocking the deaths of children. You've got this, and speaking of New York, the cartoonist at the Buffalo News did a big cartoon mocking MAGA people who were drowning in the Guadalupe River.
They're just disgusting. Their religion is hateful on the left. They will hate us no matter what. You could cure cancer and somehow it would be bad to the liberals. So, we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. And I saw something about seeding clouds in Texas. Apparently, I didn't even know you could do this. Apparently, you can make rain clouds rain more depending on how airplanes shoot chemicals into the clouds. Did you know? I had no idea about that.
So this is sort of like a thing, and people are they're going a little nutso on it. But again, I'm not dismissing it at all, but the Texas Agriculture Commissioner is. He says, yes, they are cloud seeding, but it doesn't have anything to do with the massive flooding that happened.
Right. Apparently, it just increases the rain a little bit. It's just interesting to me how when you scroll on social media, when you're scrolling on X, these people have all these theories, and I guess at least we can talk about it. But yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened, and the outpouring of love, though, and support and prayers for these families just experiencing this terrible, terrible tragedy was encouraging. And I think, there are some people on the fringes, some crazy leftists and maybe some crazy conspiratorial folks. But other than that, the American people are good-hearted, and it was great to see that outpouring of support.
So before we get to another Texas story, I can't wait to hear your reaction to this because we have a little bit of breaking news, but I'll get to that in a moment. This really is a thing, weather modification. It's not because everybody's mocking MTG, with the whole space lasers and, all that kind of stuff. So it really is a thing, and it's been codified into law. This goes all the way back to the year of my birth, 1967, that the Texas Weather Modification Act was first introduced. And they actually do go in and they can seed these clouds. And they're saying that, whatever they use, whatever chemicals they use, they're not harmful to people and they evaporate, once they hit the ground or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a weather guy and I'm not a scientist. But they're saying that they can make it rain when it's not going to rain. And they're saying that did not contribute to what happened. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. But somebody probably might want to look into that, especially with what happened in Atlanta, North Carolina, and Washington, D.C. over the past couple of days.
Well, and at least people are talking about it. So many people had no idea that it was even a possibility. Like me, I had no idea. And now I'm wondering, hey, wait a minute. Do we need to look further into this? Should there be some investigations into, is it appropriate to modify the weather? I always thought that the weather was controlled by God. Can we as man really have an impact on it? Is it appropriate for man to try to have an impact? I don't want to, I'm not trying to outsmart God here. God forbid.
And I'm not sure I want to cause a deluge in something called Flash Flood Alley.
Right,
I'm just saying there may be a very legitimate reason, but, it's a fair question to ask. But again, this was some sort of a weather system that actually stalled out. And they're saying that you can only so much water can fall as a result of cloud seeding. So there's no way that it could cause some sort of a flash flood like this. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen what the government's approved through the FDA over the past decades, and we're poisoning our bodies with our food. So I don't know if I trust the government when it comes to cloud seeding.
Speaking of that, I saw a video. I don't know why I'm on these weird algorithms on Instagram. So I was on elephant births. That was the most recent one, which is kind of disgusting. and somewhat fascinating.
How do you get on that algorithm? I'm not going to search for that.
I don't know. But anyway, now I'm on cheese. And so the latest video I saw, somebody took like real like cheese from Italy or wherever, and then they melted it in the same container as American cheese, right? That's got all this stuff in it. And so the real cheese from Italy, it just melted like cheese would melt. But the American cheese was like all gloopy and globby.
I think American cheese is like some sort of plastic that's edible. I don't know that it's actually cheese.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they're shoving into our bodies.
Oh, it's
but
terrible.
It can't be good. It cannot be good. All right, we have some breaking news to share.
Oh.
Breaking news now.
We haven't used it in a while. So this coming in from Texas, Jasmine Crockett. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about Jasmine Crockett, ladies and gentlemen. Shuck, yeah. Shucking and jiving. Oh, good God. So Jasmine Crockett, Luke Simple, is... you're a white guy, so you looked a little shocked here.
I'm very white. I'm whiter than white.
Jasmine Crockett is thinking about throwing her name into the ring for the U.S. Senate race.
Wonderful.
In
that would be
Texas.
great for Republicans, I think. What do you think?
I think this is a brilliant thing. I'm encouraging her to do this.
Yeah.
I'll throw a few bucks in.
Yeah, Jazzy Croquet, a graduate from Rhodes, right here in Memphis. That would be very interesting. I think we'd get some good fodder out of that to make fun of the left.
I think it's brilliant because, Luke, we are watching a Democrat Party in the throes of chaos. They don't know who they are right now.
They are imploding. Their identity politics-driven party is fighting amongst themselves. Nobody likes it. Swing state voters completely rejected it last election. And, I'm sitting back, I'm eating the popcorn, I'm enjoying it. Republicans, stay on your toes, keep fighting for the issues that Americans actually care about. And I'm hopeful in the midterms we'll be victorious.
I'm with you on that, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And Mamdani, I think he's going to be the next mayor of New York City, and they deserve. Everybody's calling on what's-his-face, Sliwa, the Republican, Curtis Sliwa, to drop out. That guy, he's a Trump hater, by the way, and he just got trounced in the last election. The guy doesn't have a chance. They're calling for him to pull out of the race, to everybody can get behind Eric Adams. No. I'd say stay in the race. They get what they deserve.
When I was looking at some polling yesterday on this, and I had no idea that Eric Adams was as hated as he's hated. And in fact, Cuomo, who's a complete disaster, who people in New York really dislike because of how he handled COVID, among other issues. I mean, putting COVID patients in the nursing homes, leading to mass deaths in these nursing homes, which is just terrible. He's somehow polling higher than Eric Adams. It's really unbelievable. And I think that this radical socialist is going to get elected, and we're going to have more fodder when New York City blows up, which is very, very sad. But when everybody leaves and the tax base leaves and it's just crippled under these socialist policies, Republicans are going to be able to point the finger and say, don't vote Democrat, folks.
Eric Adams was an NYPD guy, but he hates the NYPD, and he does not like white people. I know Mamdani doesn't either. He wants to tax all the white people more than minorities. But it was Eric Adams who said at a gathering, and there's audio of this, that he doesn't like crackers. And it's not Ritz. It's not Keebler. It's not the elves. It's like honkies. White people of the Caucasian persuasion. He doesn't like us.
They are just awful. Isn't it just terrible? I am so glad that I don't live with this awful racist mindset where you see color first and everything, every single issue, you must determine the skin color of the people involved first. It's just a sickening, poisonous worldview. And, I guess he just deserves to lose too. It's unfortunate. I love New York City. I grew up in New York State. It's the greatest city in America. And unfortunately, I think it's going to go through some really hard times because of their electorate.
Wow. Oh, but some local news. I'm fascinated by two stories. The first, the Memphis Police Department is going to demonstrate unity, inclusion, and their athleticism. They're going to be sharing balls with the LGBT community. Balls galore. Balls galore. It's the second annual Kicking with Pride LGBTQ plus versus MPD kickball game.
Isn't this kind of this is violence against LGBTQ, kicking LGBTQ balls?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the flyer says.
Yeah, it would be. You don't.
It's not good.
No,
it's not good.
I had no idea they were kicking balls with the pansexuals, but it is whatever.
Meanwhile, we have murders left and right. The highest rate of juvenile murders, I think, this year so far. We're setting records here, and yet they want to go kick some balls with the LGBTQ plus IA whatever.
All right, let's go kick me, boys. Let's go. What's up with your local newspaper? The Daily Memphian, they have published, they went after your baseball team, the Redbirds, because they were having the big, beautiful buffet.
Yeah.
And now they're going after America. They published a story about the Central Gardens 4th of July parade, and they said that the headline, Central Gardens parade goers celebrate holiday with mixed feelings. And they were interviewing, literally, everybody they interviewed hated America and they hated President Trump. And I don't understand. You couldn't find just one person who was proud to be an American?
They hire these young activist journalists who probably make $20,000 a year and think it's the leftist religious worldview. Their job is to just hate on conservatives all the time. And so these newspapers find 3 people who live miserable lives, who are just awful, terrible people who hate the country, who hate their fellow Americans, and say, oh, there is widespread denouncing of America on 4th of July. It's just disgusting. Nobody reads these local papers anymore. The Daily Memphian, their subscriber rate is way, way down. I mean, you publish an op-ed in the Daily Memphian and nobody sees it. They're irrelevant. It's unfortunate. And there's a reason why more and more people are flocking to radio and flocking to podcasts and YouTube because they just can't trust their local media anymore.
Yeah, it's really sad. All right, Luke Simble, good to have you back in the city.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
All right, folks, got to take a break here. 901-260-5926, going right to your phone calls. Again, 901-260-5926. This is the Todd Starnes Show.
About to back up and bring it. You're with Todd Starnes.
Hey, Patriots, Todd Starnes here with big news. Trump's fighting for our country to get it back on the right track, battling China, who's likely dumping treasuries to sink the dollar, and facing tariffs that are having a sharp bite on the stock market. Now, Trump is playing the long game for America, putting Americans first. But like hard work, there's always going to be some pain. So you've got to play smart, too. Secure your hard-earned savings and retirement with Vault U.S. Gold. Their IRS-approved gold IRAs let you roll over your IRA or 401k with a no-commission pros. Safe, simple, tax-smart, protecting your future. Want it in hand? Well, their direct delivery program ships insured gold and silver to your door, offering privacy, yours to store securely. Real assets that you can hold and touch for tough times. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd Starnes for your free investor kit. And tell them Todd sent you, and don't go unprotected. Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
America has a new choice for fair and balanced news. ToddStarnes.com. Journalism you can trust from some of the best reporters and opinion writers in the business. ToddStarnes.com takes you to the front lines of the culture war, defending faith, freedom, and your family. ToddStarnes.com also features exclusive interviews with America's top newsmakers like Mike Huckabee, Franklin Graham, and Newt Gingrich. Find out why millions of Americans read ToddStarnes.com every day. It's news you can trust. ToddStarnes.com.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. and never give in to a meltdown. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never let them have too much screen time, and never bribe them for just one more bite. You say you'd never let them out in public without their hair brushed, never ever become a minivan mom, and you'd never give them your phone for a quiet dinner.
Calling boss work phone.
So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Let's go to the phone lines. Gary in Daytona Beach, Florida. Hi, Gary. What's on your mind today?
Well, what's on my mind is that even a long time ago, there's certain things that happen in Washington and around the world that and people make promises, and there's things, and you say to yourself, if you feel that you're a fairly seasoned person on what happens in the world, that they just made a promise that's not going to happen. And that, Laura Ingraham is a wonderful lady. I like her a lot. My wife and I both do. And one time in 2017, she said in November, I'm going to get to the bottom of the taxpayer slush fund in the Senate and in Congress. And you'll be hearing from me. I'm going to report the names because it's taxpayer money on all these non-disclosure agreements that were paid for sexual harassment. Well, I said when she said that, I told my wife, I said, that's never going to happen. And my wife thought I was pretty cynical. And I said, she can't make that promise because the people that have been paid and the people, the accusers, the names that are involved, that's never going to happen. And it never did. And I felt when Pam Bondi, and she is a patriot, and she's a wonderful person probably, and Dan Bongino and Cash and obviously Donald Trump, our president. But when they say these things, I said, my God, you have Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Probably the only reason why she's in prison and nothing's happened to her is she knows the names, and maybe some lawyers got it in the safe of different people. And when they said that they were going to produce those, I said, I'm skeptical on how that report's going to come out. And I hope it's highly redacted to cover their tail. Because,
Here's the thing, Gary. If this is true, I mean, look, if it turns out there really is not a list, then I think Kash Patel and Dan Bongino should apologize because they literally built their careers, their livelihoods on, beyond a shadow of a doubt, knowing that, this was a great scandal, and it turned out not to be. So I think at the very least they owe the American people an apology.
I'm more upset about the crooks, the Butler shooter, the anniversary coming up. There is no way that that's a closed case. There cannot be, the parents were the most lightly investigated parents of an assassin of a president I've ever seen. We have people in the state of Florida where I live where the parents, there's a shooter and the parents, they knew he had a gun and this and that. they go through those parents. They go through their social media. They look at the parents. They look at the different posts and the stuff that nothing's come out. That's horrendous what's not come out about that shooter.
No, and nothing will, because, again, case closed, moving on. How dare you ask questions? Wait, what?
Very upset about that.
Yeah. No, and I think you're right to be. All right, Gary, appreciate the call there. And look, I hear you. I think a lot of people share the same sentiment, disappointed, but not terribly surprised. Real quick, let's go to Patty in Statesville, North Carolina. Hey, Patty, what say you?
Hey, Todd, listen, I was kind of mad at you in the beginning, and I'm sorry. I apologize, because I love you. And I'm going to say something. When I went to the polls in November, I voted for my bills, food, gas, illegals. Jeffrey Epstein was not even on my mind. So I went for the latter. I went for, okay, if I can support, my daughter with bills and help my kids out and everything. And he's coming through on that. Everybody's hooked on this Jeffrey Epstein thing. I'm going to tell you something. It's bigger than you think. There's a lot of people involved.
Well, I think there, and I hear your point, Patty, and look, there are a lot of issues. Is Jeffrey Epstein, was he on my mind when I went to go vote? No, not at all. But the broader issue is not about Epstein. It's whether or not we have very dangerous people that are working in the highest levels of our government, and that's the issue. And you heard Steve Baker say, well, it could be that this thing is so big, it could literally bring down the entire government. And if that's the case, I say bring down the entire government and let the chips fall where they may. Patty, gotta run. Great hearing from you, my friend. We'll be right back, everybody.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I stopped taking it for a while, and then it dawned on me, so I started taking it again. And I don't know, I like it. I mean, I love them. I'm never going to stop taking them. And I've got a friend that's coming over here. I'm giving her a little bit for her to go try.
I love the product. I wouldn't be without it. Ever since I started that product, I remember seeing an ad way back. That's what convinced me. I tried it, and so I've been a believer. Nothing compares with it, so I'm a lifer with it. I'm not going to change.
Primetime savings end Friday. Don't miss out. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 40% off your first preferred set. Don't miss a chance for primetime savings. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this limited time offer by using discount code TODD.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. You know, Mike has a passion to help everybody get the best sleep of their life, and he didn't stop by creating the best pillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. Mike is offering the best deal on his Percale bed sheets. You can get a set for as low as $24.98. The MyPillow Percale bed sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. They have deep pockets to fit over any mattress. They look great, they feel great, and that means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Also, for a limited time, when you order over $100 worth of merch, you're going to get $100 in free digital gifts. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code STARNS to receive the MyPillow Percale sheets for as low as $24.98. Order now or call 800-839-8506 and use promo code STARNS. That's 800-839-8506. Use promo code STARNS. Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes. Stand by for news and commentary next.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GPS for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code GPS for a $5 bonus.
A Lyft driver in Detroit, Michigan, facing a lawsuit after he told a supersized passenger that she was unliftable. Dank DeMoss is a well-known rap artist. She tips the scales just shy of 500 pounds, alleging a Lyft driver refused to provide her service because he said she would not fit in his car. The driver told Dank his tires could not handle her weight. Now, the guy wasn't rude about it. Just matter of fact, he even apologized and suggested she order an XL vehicle. He also promised a refund, but that was not good enough. Attorneys for the rap artist say what the driver did was illegal in Michigan. They claim weight is a protected class. They say the driver discriminated against their client. However, the driver might have a good defense because most car experts say obese passengers can not only affect tires on a car, but also shocks and brakes. Regardless, this case could have ginormous implications for the rideshare world. I'm Todd Starnes.
The Todd Starnes Show begins in 4 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 2 minutes. The Todd Starnes Show begins in 1 minute.
from the Liberty University studio in Memphis, Tennessee, it's America's conservative blowtorch.
That's us. That's right. I love this American ride.
Todd Starnes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all right. Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Have you heard about Diabetes Barbie? This is fascinating. NBC News. NBC News now reporting that Mattel is launching a brand new Barbie. This is for type 1 diabetes, Dylan. Type 2 diabetes is called Big Bone Barbie. But this is type 1 diabetes. Mattel, the company, says the new edition expands its representation and encourages play extending beyond a child's own lived experience. So they're giving Diabetes Barbie is going to come with a glucose monitor. Also, the toy is outfitted with a wearable insulin patch. Or insulin pump, rather. And that is for Barbie, so it's not actually, for the child. The child will have to have, or the adult, if you're an adult into Barbie dolls, you will need to have that as well. Mattel announcing the newest member of its Barbie Fashionistas line, saying that it not only lets children see themselves in the doll, but encourages play that extends beyond a child's own lived experience. The doll has a continuous glucose monitor attached to her arm and an insulin pump attached to her waist. Kristen Berger is the senior vice president for Barbie and the global head of dolls, saying in a press release that Diabetes Barbie marks an important step in our commitment to inclusivity. Barbie helps shape children's early perceptions of the world, and by reflecting medical conditions like type 1 diabetes, we ensure more kids can see themselves in the stories they imagine and the dolls they love. Is that it, though? I mean, if you're a child, I remember back when I was a kid, we had the G.I. Joes. Now, we don't have I don't want to call them gay. We don't have the little tiny, the G.I. Joes nowadays, they're not like, they're teeny tiny, right? They're like little stick figures. Back when we were growing up, and if you grew up in the 70s, you know what I'm talking about here. Our G.I. Joes were like almost lifelike. They were life-size G.I. Joes. They were real American heroes. And then they had the little Barbies. But again, this was before the age of inclusivity. All that to say, I don't remember, as a child, I had to have glasses. I don't remember me wishing that my G.I. Joe came with a pair of glasses. I don't know, maybe some people feel that way. I don't know. No, I don't have a problem with this, Dylan. I'm just reading the news. This is something new and adventurous. But is Barbie going to have to create a doll based on every sort of medical issue out there? That's all I'm asking. Now, Dylan wanted to know if, again, for inclusivity, Dylan wanted to know if there was a transgender Barbie. Yes, his name is Ken. That's Ken, in the Barbie world.
Guess he says, stop being mean to Ken. She's a fan. They don't have the Ken doll diversity, the inclusive Ken dolls, do they?
Does Ken have diabetes?
All I hear about is the Barbie dolls.
I don't know.
Ken's there, too.
What about Ken? Do they have a black Ken? Hispanic Ken?
I don't know.
Polynesian Ken? I mean, where do you draw the line? Look, if there's a market for it, I say have at it. But it just seems to me that aren't you taking advantage of a child or somebody's illness? More than 18,000 young people under the age of 20 have been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Cassie's giving me a hard time now because it's diabetes. It's diabetes, not diabetes. Well, that's how we say it in the South. Cassie was giving me a hard time yesterday because we had brand new windows installed, and she said they're not windows, they're windows.
Yeah. She needs to get with the lingo here. She's not from here, you know.
She's from north of the Mason-Dixon line.
I could let her defend herself, but I'm not going to.
Good for you. After that movie list she gave us this week. I don't know why. As she was giving me the movie list, I had visions of pink and polka dots and little flowers.
Yeah.
And
but it encapsulates Cassie as a person, if you know her.
Little unicorns pooting rainbows out the wazoo.
Good visual.
Anywho's. So let me ask you this. Would it be okay? This is a terrible question I'm about to ask, but would it be okay for a non-diabetes person, say you don't have diabetes, would you at that point be allowed to purchase diabetes Barbie? Is that inappropriate? As a child, I know I'm not going to ask if it was lesser than. No, I mean, you have normal Barbie and then you have diabetes Barbie. Do you have I don't know, I have a mechanical, it's a great example. I have a mechanical heart, right? My heart it's mechanical. Do I need that? Back to my G.I. Joes, am I disappointed that, my G.I. Joes did not have some sort of a heart defect? I'm just asking. It doesn't bother me at all. Why are we talking about this? I'm just going to get hate mail from some sort of a diabetes organization. You just hate children. You child hater. No, I don't hate children. I'm just asking. We ask questions on the Todd Starnes radio program. All right, 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. But it would be do you have an obesity Barbie? And I am, in all seriousness, what would that look like? And then what happens when people go back to liking regular-sized folk? Would you have weight loss Barbie? Would you have a Barbie that comes with I don't know, some sort of a fat pouch that you can, through exercise and whatnot, it gets skinnier? I don't know what that looks like. Remember, there was a time, I just remember doing a story on this. Wasn't there a baby doll that actually peed, urinated? And I'm like, what is the point of that? Because they said at the time that the children loved they loved the authenticness of it all. And I'm not sure I want to be that authentic. Do you really want your toys to pee on you? I would think not, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm in the minority here. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Want to play some audio here. This is from, believe it or not, Memphis, Tennessee. And it's a story about an illegal alien who was arrested. I think the guy had been living in America for 20, 30 years. And this is important for you to understand, all right? So the guy was living here, working here, and he got arrested. There was a big ICE raid, and this is what happened. Cut number 12.
When Gerardo was picked up in his driveway, with ICE spotting him as they drove by. His family says waiting on citizenship in a broken immigration system is a costly and long process, and many immigrants desperate for a better life find a way to get to the U.S. I asked Gerardo if he had any regrets.
So he says his decision is fine with him because the reason why he came to this country was to stay with his wife and his family, and he doesn't regret it.
Now he waits for a court hearing to determine if he will get a bond, and then another hearing to give proof that he should be allowed to remain in the U.S. or sent back to his native Mexico.
He's saying, as far as him accepting that the crime that he did, he understands that, but he knows that he's also, like a lot of Hispanics, we feel like the border crossed us. But he understands that, and he hopes that the judge shows mercy because he is not a criminal.
Edgar is thankful for being able to speak with his dad, but each time they talk, it's tough.
It's hard.
In the little English he can speak, Gerardo spoke of his family.
Thank you so much for my
problem for my family. I don't know, my heart is broken.
Sí, papá. He says his heart is broken.
All right. So there's a couple of things I want us to glean from this. First of all, the guy's been in the country 25, 30 years, and he can't speak English. What, you're in our country for 25 or 30 years. Why are you not learning how to speak English? Why are you not taking classes, ESL classes? Many local churches around America have those kinds of classes. But the other thing is this. The guy said they're like a lot of Hispanics. This is the Sun. The Sun was being interviewed by the local TV station. Like a lot of Hispanics, we feel like the border crossed us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is acknowledgement of what we have been telling you for ages on this program, that this is not some sort of an invasion as much as it is a takeover of the country, right? They literally believe that we are living on stolen land. So you basically, these people coming across the borders are not just invaders, they're colonizers. They are literally colonizing the United States of America so one day it can go back to old Mexico. That's what that guy was saying. And this is a result of generations now of young people being indoctrinated in our school that America is evil, America is bad, white people are awful, and that we stole this land, we're colonizers, and we should go back to where we came from. Here's the problem. If you ask these folks, they will tell you that white people have no place. We don't belong anywhere on the planet. It is what it is. But anyway, that is a very telling interview, and again, not from a border state, but from Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, by the way, they don't call it Fat Barbie. It's called Curvy Barbie. I know it's true, Dylan. I thought I was just kind of making that up. You can buy, it's called Barbie Curvy Body, but these are really not like obese. These are just big boned Barbies, but not like, Papa's fried chicken, 3-piece extra spicy with an extra biscuit. I'm just saying, you okay there? Dylan?
Yeah.
I wonder if they have celiac disease, Barbie.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just asking.
There's no stopping to this.
No,
now.
I mean, where do you I get it. They do have a blind Barbie, and it comes...
Oh, no.
No, they do. It's a part of the Fashionistas series. So, there you go.
How do you know it's blind?
Well, it's got, like, the little, the thing.
The walking stick?
The walking stick. My apologies. My brain stopped working. So, but again, it's okay, I guess. I don't understand. But they're doing this for inclusivity purposes. That's all. It just seems to me that if you're a child, the whole point of having a toy is it's a fantasy experience, right? You're pretending to be something else. That's all. Let's go to Barbara in Mooresville, North Carolina. Hi, Barbara. What's on your mind today?
Hi there. First, I just want to say I love your show and I love you.
Uh-oh.
But I wanted to add, I just want to add about some information about the Barbies being made for certain children's ailments. A friend of mine has a granddaughter, 6 years old, that's been going through cancer, chemo, and someone bought her a Barbie that was bald and came with a wig. A chemo Barbie. And the little girl just adores and treasures this doll. She was so excited to receive that doll while she was going through chemo. So I think those things are very important for children dealing with certain ailments, certain diseases.
Now I feel bad. I feel like a terrible person now, Barbara. Oh, yeah. So it's called...
Her little Barbie, and we're excited to receive it.
So this is called Brave Barbie. This is on, they're calling her Brave Barbie, and I don't know if they actually sell. Oh, they do. So that Barbie, they have a Brave Barbie where you can, and it's for cancer patients.
Yeah. And someone also bought her a horse that's for the 18-inch size doll, like American Girl doll, and it came wearing a mask.
Is that
medical mask
for like COVID or?
Yeah, well, I think because she had to wear a mask while she was.
Oh,
chemo.
I see. All right, I got you. All right, well that makes sense. But I guess whatever you've got, they can make a Barbie for it.
Well, I think it's great. I'm a diabetic. Had I had diabetes as a child, I would have loved to have had a diabetic Barbie. I played with Barbies, but they didn't make those things when I was a child. I'm 65 years old.
So you remember when we had the boys, we all had the full-size G.I. Joes.
Oh, yes, yes. My 39-year-old son had G.I. Joes that were not huge, but they were, I guess, maybe Barbie size, about the same size as Barbies, and bent all different directions. Same with guns and all the military.
Yeah, there you go. Big Jeeps and everything. All right, well, Barbara, thank you for calling in. We appreciate your call. Now I feel really...
Yeah, you should.
I feel bad.
Terrible.
I had to go to church and pray.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they have an acid reflux Barbie.
It's Todd Starnes.
Attention, Patriots. Old Glory Bank, the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street, is now offering you a chance to own a piece of America's freedom economy. President and CEO Mike Ring recently testified before the Senate Banking Committee to fight for your banking freedom. Now you can join the fight by investing in Old Glory Bank. Visit own.oldglorybank.com to become an owner today. Investments involve risk, are not FDIC insured, and are not guaranteed. See our offering circular.
America doesn't need barbed wire or secret police to lose freedom. All it takes is silence. Live Not by Lies is a gripping docuseries by Angel Studios that reveals how soft totalitarianism is creeping into everyday life. Through powerful stories from people who lived under communism, it warns of what happens when we surrender truth for safety. This is a must-watch for anyone who loves faith, family, and freedom. Stream the series now, only on Angel Guild, by visiting angel.com/Starnes.
Franklin Graham says Star-Spangled Blessings is a must-read for America's patriot families. The newest book from Todd Starnes, a daily devotional filled with great stories about how God has blessed America. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots. Each daily devotional comes with a Yankee Doodle, a Patriot Prayer, and a Liberty Lesson. Not to mention some all-American recipes that will bless your heart and your belly. Star-Spangled Blessings, Devotions for Patriots, available at your favorite bookstore or order online at toddstarnes.com.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
This is what you desire. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but they actually do something about it. America's only conservative Christian wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now and use the promo code TODD to get free activation and a free gift. Veterans and first responders save even more. Go to patriotmobile.com/Todd or call 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT.
Hey Todd, how about Viagra Ken? And it comes with its own prescription. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Mark from the Villages. This is not helping matters at all. Not at all. Let's go to the phone lines. I'm in deep doo-doo right now. Let's say hello to Pastor John in Kentucky. You got to help me out here, Pastor.
Todd, I got to say something. I called, by the way, the guy that played General Jackson was Stephen Lange, by the way. I just want to give that to you.
Very nice.
First of all, this is going out to a lot of your callers that call you upset. Folks, get a life, okay? Todd, you don't need to be, you can defend yourself just fine, but you know what? If you can't have humor, especially the way the world is going right now with the tragedy in Texas, with everything that's going on in L.A., people need to start learning to laugh. Something happened when COVID happened. Everybody lost their sense of humor. That's why comedians can't even go on college campuses anymore. Like, I have an idea. How about Ice Agent Barbie and Ice Agent Ken? Okay? How about that? Oh, you don't like it? Too bad. Get a life. But what I'm just saying is, folks, you need to learn to laugh. I mean, even the Lord Jesus has a sense of humor. And that's who you should learn to go off of. And our nation has borders. But what I'm saying is, Todd, folks, get a life. Okay? You don't have to feel bad about anything, Todd. I know you can defend yourself, but Todd, you know what? You make me laugh. You make my family laugh. You make my Marine Corps veteran wife laugh, and she never laughs at anything except when I fall down and hurt myself.
Oh, wow.
But the point is, Todd, I just needed to say that. So, folks, get a freaking life, learn to laugh, and learn to appreciate what you got before you lose it. I just wanted to say that, Todd. I love you, brother.
Well, thank you, Pastor. Well, thank you for that. Here's the thing is the inclusivity. I mean, where do you draw the line? Because I really hesitate to bring this up, but what happens if, you got a butt-ugly kid? I mean, sometimes it happens, right? I mean, are they going to have a butt-ugly Barbie? I mean, they could call that a G.I. Joe. That's mighty handsome son you have there. Well, actually, that's my daughter. Got to take a break. This is the Todd Starnes Show. Jeez, Lou. We are living in dangerous and unstable times. Hello, everybody. I'm Todd Starnes. Pandemics, international insecurity, shortages, supply chain disruptions, and an economy on the brink. We know we can't simply trust the government to protect us. Now more than ever, everyone needs to be prepared. And being prepared is more than just stockpiling ammo, food, and supplies. Being prepared should also include stockpiling critical prescription medications. And that's where my friends at the Wellness Company come in. Their medical emergency kit contains the prescriptions, antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics that you need to keep you and your family safe, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID, and even to a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Go to twc.health/Starnes today and order. That's twc.health/Starnes. Use the promo code Starnes, and you're going to save an extra 10%.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important.
And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
We're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
And folks, tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern, the Todd Stern Show on Newsmax. We're going to have a great program for you. By the way, Newsmax going public on the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of people excited about this. Millions of people are joining our news revolution. As a matter of fact, we looked at the most recent numbers. Newsmax is now the 4th highest rated news channel, just behind CNN. And Reuters is calling us one of the top news brands in America. Not surprised there. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news. I want to encourage you to download our free Newsmax app if you haven't done so on your smartphone. Super simple and easy. Takes just a few seconds, and you'll be able to start watching right away. You can get that Newsmax app free of charge, by the way, which is pretty awesome. Also, check out Newsmax shares on the New York Stock Exchange. Go to NewsmaxInvest.com. That's NewsmaxInvest.com. All right. Wow, this is a weird story out of Texas. The Texas Attorney General getting a divorce. This news just coming out. So Ken Paxton is the Attorney General running for the U.S. Senate. His wife is a state senator, Angela Paxton, and she has filed for divorce from her husband. And they've been married for 38 years. They have kids and grandkids. But here's the weird part. She made the announcement on social media, on X. I want to read to you what Senator Angela Paxton wrote. Today, after 38 years of marriage, I filed for divorce on biblical grounds. I believe marriage is a sacred covenant, and I have earnestly pursued reconciliation. But in light of recent discoveries, I do not believe that it honors God or is loving to myself, my children, or kin to remain in the marriage. I move forward with complete confidence that God is always working everything together for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. It just seems to me that's a little weird to announce your divorce on social media, right? Isn't that, as much as it could possibly be, should that not be a private matter? Why are you putting all of your business out there? But the problem I have with this is, once you're going to go down that path, you got to put your business out there, and she doesn't do that. She doesn't explain exactly what she means. She says, in light of recent discoveries. What are those discoveries? Are there biblical guidelines, biblical grounds for divorce? Was he unfaithful to her? What exactly is she talking about here? She said, I filed for divorce on biblical grounds. What are those grounds? And again, they're going to be, well, it's a matter of privacy. Come on, Todd. Where is your compassion? Well, I've got compassion, but she's putting it out there on X. Millions and millions of people are seeing this, so I'm just curious what's going on here. And it is going to be, that will be an issue. That will become an issue on the campaign trail with Ken Paxton, especially if Jasmine Crockett jumps into the race. Good Lord, can you imagine that? What a mess in the state of Texas right now. All right, 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Want to play some audio here. Scott Jennings, this guy crushing it over on CNN, taking on an entire panel. It was like Scott Jennings versus all of CNN talking about Medicaid benefits for illegals. Take a listen.
Political analysis is wrong. I don't think it's unpopular at all to try to reform an entitlement program, to save it for the people who need it, to keep illegal aliens from getting welfare benefits they shouldn't be getting, to encourage people to go to work. I don't think these things should be shied away from by Republicans.
None of that is true. First of all, I think Medicaid
It's exactly true. It's exactly what's in the bill.
Federal law prohibits undocumented immigrants
then why are
from receiving
1.4
Medicaid
million
benefits.
on it? Why are
That's a figment of your imagination.
It's a figment of the CBO's documents.
Let me explain the facts.
It's in the CBO documents.
I'll explain the facts.
Is it or not?
Let me explain. It's not, actually.
No, you are lying.
No, that is not. It is not true.
Okay, hang on a
You're
second.
inventing facts out of thin air. So Medicaid is.
Hold on, guys. You're talking about state programs.
Medicaid is the most popular program after Social Security and Medicare. So $1 trillion cut to Medicaid, which is what Republicans just did, is not only bad morals and bad economics, it's bad politics. Medicaid is actually more popular than you, Scott Jennings. It has 70% approval rating among Republicans.
How do you know what my approval
More than 80% among independents, more than 90% among Democrats. It's political suicide for Republicans to get Medicaid.
I think it's political suicide to come on as a member of Congress and lie about what the CBO says.
So the majority of people who benefit from Medicaid are senior citizens and those with disabilities. Almost all Medicaid funding goes toward the elderly, the disabled, children, and working adults.
That's who it's for.
And it's not for illegals. And those are the people for whom it principally benefits.
And it's not for illegals. And Scott Jennings is absolutely right. The only people getting kicked off Medicaid are the freeloaders and the illegals. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. If you're here illegally, you do not get that resource. You do not get those allocations. You just don't. Those are for American citizens, ladies and gentlemen, American citizens. It's insanity, just insanity. Want to take you to Amityville, New York. Remember that movie? Oh, wow, that scared the bejeebers out of me as a kid. The Amityville horror movie. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, it was Superhero Day at Northwest Elementary School in Amityville, New York. Some of the children dressed up like Batman, others Superman, Wonder Woman. A school nurse decided to dress up like an ICE agent. So the way the story is going is that she wore a jacket that had the letters ICE on the back. And so according to the nurse, this was her superhero. I love this story. I love it. So far, so good. But then the school got involved. Apparently, moms and dads are enraged, and they filed complaints, and now they want this school nurse fired. Turns out that most of the kids in this school district are minorities, and the moms and dads were furious. The school district released a statement saying the letters ICE are offensive and inappropriate. Are we taking them out of the alphabet now? Is that what we're doing? We're eliminating 2 vowels? Is that what we're doing in Amityville, New York? They say the teacher has been removed from the school and is now facing a district investigation. The head of the Amityville Teachers Association condemned the nurse's costume, said there's no place for politics in the classroom. Really? How much? I would be willing to bet a Whataburger that there's a gay pride flag somewhere in some classroom in Amityville, New York, if we're going to go down that path. But it's really odd here because, again, I mean, all you know what's they are ready to burn down these schools and run this school nurse out of town. But it seems to me if you're talking about superheroes, take a look at the ICE agents. These guys are putting their lives on the line every single day. They're pulling these dangerous gangbangers and killers and drug traffickers off of our streets, and they're putting them in jail. I mean, you don't have to be a lunatic over this kind of stuff. I mean, come on. And by the way, you don't have to wear a cape to be a hero these days. You have to wear an ice jacket. I just love this story. Anyway, we'll let you know what happens, but it's not looking good for the school nurse who could end up losing her job. I mean, that's how bad it is. 901-260-5926, our telephone number. That's 901-260-5926. Another story. This is from Layton, Utah. A former Bath and Body Works store manager said she was fired after she refused to address a transgender employee by his preferred pronouns. Jocelyn Bowden filed a charge of discrimination with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. She was fired in May. She had worked at the store, Bath and Body Works, for 3.5 years. Bowden is a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You know what? The Hanson boys were members. I think they were Mormons. Donnie and Marie, too. All the big singing groups. She said in her charge she was chastised and alienated by coworkers after she was unwilling to address a new transgender employee by his preferred pronouns. My name is Marge. You must refer to me as she, her. Bowden said she addressed the biological female coworker who identified as male by their chosen name, but because of her religious convictions, she could not address the coworker by male pronouns. Oh, so wait a second. So it really is Marge, and she wanted to go by the name Big Mike or something. My apologies. Anyway, according to the filing, team members complained about Ms. Bowden's religiously motivated decision to the HR department. This is from the Daily Wire report. This complaint led to an interrogation into Ms. Bowden's use of pronouns. Can you imagine that? Ma'am, we need to talk to you. Have you now or have you ever used the word he or she? Ms. Bowden indicated her religious objection to Bath and Body Works pronoun policy, including during a discussion with her district manager just 2 days before she had been fired. She filed a discrimination charge after she was terminated. A spokesperson for Bath & Body Works says Bath & Body Works complies with all laws concerning employment practices. We do not discriminate, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think they do here. And good for you, Miss Bowden. Apparently, the group First Liberty Institute, they handle these religious liberty cases. They are handling the lawsuit against Bath & Body Works. Wow, what a crazy story. All right, got to take a break here. 901-260-5926. That's 901-260-5926. I know a lot of people, they get aggravated by AARP. It's a liberal group. And especially if you're retired, you don't want to have to get aggravated, right? Which is why I'm recommending that people switch over to the Association of Mature American Citizens. It's called AMAC. I am a proud member of AMAC. It is the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're fighting every single day to protect the principles that make this nation great. And the best part about it all, AMAC is not just for, old people. It's for young people, too. If you're 18 to 80 years old, AMAC is for any American who loves the country, wants to see it protected for generations to come. Now, here's the deal. A few bucks a year, you're going to get an amazing magazine, and I love reading their magazine. It's absolutely fantastic. You're also going to get some pretty awesome discounts at restaurants, hotels, all sorts of discounts, and also great resources. And most importantly, you're going to be a part of a growing patriotic community that just won't back down. So here's what I want you to do. Go to amac.us/Starnes. That's amac.us/Starnes right now and join the fight to keep America strong. We'll be right back.
From the front lines of the culture wars, it's Todd Starnes.
Hi, this is Todd Starnes, and there's no better time to get in shape than right now. That's why I'm really excited that Calitrin is part of my weight loss campaign. Here's my friend Elizabeth from Calitrin.
That's right. Calitrin's safe with all medications, including all the weight loss shots that are so popular right now. In fact, Calitrin is exactly what you need if you're doing that, because you need to retain your lean muscle, you need to keep your metabolism boosted, and you want to tone and tighten that skin as you're losing weight the right way. So again, completely safe and what you need, even if you're doing other weight loss medications. It's also safe with your heart medicines. It's safe with your blood pressure medicines. Calitrin is the weight loss product that you can know and trust. It's been around. It's been helping customers lose weight safely for almost 30 years. So check it out. Website is toploss.com or call us 833-TOP-LOSS.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and be sure to use that promo code TODD. Hey, folks, Todd Starnes here. What's your plan when the smartest investors who never lose pile into gold and silver? They're buying now, watching value climb. Are you okay with missing out, seeing them thrive while you wait? Vault U.S. Gold is the answer. Trusted by pros. They offer gold IRAs to secure your retirement and gold and silver delivered, shipped, and insured to your door. Want to roll over your 401k? Well, their experts make it seamless, honest every step. Why Vault U.S.? Well, they're steady, reliable, no tricks, just value. Gold's hot. Don't regret sitting this out. Call 833-511-GOLD. That's 833-511-4653 or visit vaultusgold.com/Todd for a free investor kit. That's 833-511-GOLD or 833-511-4653 and get your free investor kit. And say Todd Stern sent you. Vault U.S. Gold. Buy smart, win big.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. you have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Todd Starnes Radio Show. Happy to have you with us today. By the way, our telephone number, 901-260-5926. I want to go back and revisit something here. This is really a collection, a montage of every time the Trump administration promised to release the Epstein files. Cut number 9, please.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Just last week, the president's excellent pick for FBI Director Kash Patel vowed to work with me in releasing the Epstein records and breaking apart the trafficking rings that harm countless women and children across our country.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
All this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yep.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Kash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. It's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. I would defer you to the Department of Justice on her timeline, but when she's made a promise in the past, she has kept it, and I'm certain that she will in this case as well.
Welcome back, everybody. 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Case closed. The Justice Department revealing Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide and insists there is no secret client list out there.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, this is why you have so many people in Congress that are put off by this. Here is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's got a recommendation, the Republican from Georgia. Cut number 10, please.
Your recommendation is FBI and DOJ need to turn over all the information they have?
My recommendation is this case should not be closed. We have Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison right now, and her little black book was ordered to be sealed under the court. And it has over 2,000 names of rich, powerful people and politicians in that contact list. So it's hard. It's just, look, there's nothing wrong with asking these questions. There's nothing wrong with saying we want to know more about this, and I think that's important. It's important to say I support President Trump and his administration while continuing to say we want more answers on this. That's not disloyalty. That's actually thinking for yourself, and it's actually pushing for better accountability, and that's what the American people deserve. And I think it's incredibly important to keep asking those questions. The American people are fed up with what they consider to be being lied to or told a narrative that's not true. And that's what this election was about, not only in 2016, but again in 2020 and 2024. The American people demand that the deep state no longer control this country. The American people demand loyalty and truth and transparency, and that is the right thing to continue to search for.
Yeah, so there you go. And again, I want to put a bow on all of this because, again, we have got to get this administration focused. And you know, the president also needs to be aware that we do expect him to live up to those campaign promises. And right now, when you look at the DOGE cuts that have yet to be codified, when you look at the Department of Education that is still up and running, when you look at the fact that we are not deporting anybody, that's the problem. We're not deporting these illegals. It's not enough that we arrest them because that means you and I, we got to feed these people. So it's imperative that we start deporting at a massive, massive level. And it very well may be at the end of the day, that we don't accomplish any of this. And that would be bad for the country because the midterm elections will be here before we know it, and we'll have nothing to campaign on for Republicans. Nothing. All right, I got to run, folks. Again, 5 o'clock tonight, The Todd Stearns Show. Check it out. Go read all of our content over at toddstearns.com. We're going to be back tomorrow, noon to 3 Eastern, right here on this radio station. God bless and you be good, America.
From fruits and veggies to fiber and spice, Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm a natural bodybuilder.